Peace and wellness, Soul Tribe. Welcome back to the channel. New and returning overseas in America. Welcome to everyone and welcome back to our Hoodoo Heritage Month teaching series. I'm so glad that y'all are here. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Y'all, we are winding down, okay? But listen, Hoodoo Heritage October is almost over, okay? But Hoodoo Heritage, the culture, okay, forever lives. You feel me? So in today's video, we're going to go a little bit deeper into two pillars of our practice, okay? Yes, I'm going to cover two topics in this video. So it may be a little bit longer than normal. I'm gonna try to keep it, you know what I mean? Because I know if you're anything like me and have a short attention span, you cannot sit for too long and consume too much. Okay. So I'm gonna try to keep it at about 20 minutes. But yes, in today's video, we're going to be talking about word conjure and protection work and why both of them are central to the way that my people, your people, our people survived, healed, and kept the homes and spirits covered. Okay. So before I get started, I want you to pause this video, grab a notebook or a piece of paper, a pen, grab you some tea, your water, your roots, whatever you feel like you need. Because my intention for this video, for this conversation, for this content on today is to bring it on home for you. Okay. And we're going to start with the power of word conjure. All right. Because in Hoodoo, not all conjure is something that you do with your hands. And I have said this before on multiple occasions. Okay. I may have used different language. I may have said it in a different way, but not all conjure requires your hands or even tools outside of you. Because some of it you literally do with your mouth. You do it with your words. This is why you always hear people say, watch your words. The tongue holds power. Watch what it is you speak over yourself, you say, because a lot of times when you think that someone is doing something against you or trying to cross you up, no, it's you crossing you up because of the words that you let roll off of your tongue. When you are walking around constantly declaring over yourself that you're sick, you're tired, you're broke, you're fat, you're this, you're that, what do you think you're doing? Okay. Careful with your words, because the power of word conjure is something that was passed down to us in ways that felt casual but were deeply spiritual, and you may not even know it. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to think about how the elders spoke over us, over things, over the home. Think about the way that they used their mouth, their tongue. Okay. And I don't know about y'all, but my elders used their tongue to bless, to warn, to protect, and to seal. And you would have been a fool to not listen. All right. That wasn't just culture. That wasn't even just church. That was conjure. In Gullah Geechee households, down in South Carolina, okay, from the Lowcountry to the Sea Islands, our elders, especially those women, those big mamas, okay, they prayed out loud. They declared, they sang, and they spoke over the land, over us, the children, okay, and the world around them. They firmly believed that the tongue had power. They didn't need herbs and dust and candles and pretty fancy shit. They didn't, because they had their tongue. They had their words and they knew it. The same way you can speak life, you can also speak death. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The same way you can bless, you can curse. Because listen, in order to be able to do one, you have to be able to do both. All right. You can cover a home. You can bind a spirit. You can bless a child. You can even rebuke sickness all with your mouth. I'm not telling y'all nothing that I heard. I'm telling you what I know based upon what I have seen my grandmothers do, what I have seen my big mamas do, my aunties, even my uncles, my grandfathers, and based upon what I have done myself. You absolutely have the power to speak to sickness, to speak to disease, okay? And it will have no choice but to flee if you are speaking right, okay? I want to give y'all some examples of everyday sayings that, like, my grandmothers would say, but these sayings were actually spells, okay? Things like, the Lord will make a way somehow. I spoke on this a little while back. I put up a post about it. I talked about the deeper spiritual meaning behind that word conjure. It's rooted in faith, in knowing. It is a declaration. The Lord will make a way somehow. It is saying, it ain't my business how it comes. What I know is it's going to come. God has never failed me before. He ain't failed me yet. He's not going to fail me. And so, however it comes, Lord, however it comes, that's standing on faith. Another phrase, I plead the blood. I don't even have to go into that because y'all already know what that is. Mm-hmm. Y'all know what they say the blood of Jesus do, the blood of Yeshua, the blood of the Messiah, the blood of the Lamb. Y'all know. What about no weapon formed against me shall prosper? That's Bible. It's a declaration. Yeah, it's a spell. All right. These things weren't just sayings. These words weren't just words. These were spells. This was vibrational authority. These were declarations. And some of y'all, believe it or not, okay, are still walking in blessings because of something your grandma spoke over you when you were 5. I know for me, baby, when I say my grandmother's prayers are still protecting me, I mean just that. I don't say that to be cute. I don't say it to be cliche. I don't say it because it sounds good. I say that shit because it's real. I say it because it's the truth. My grandmother's prayers are still protecting me. I am still walking in blessings because of something those women spoke over me, spoke into me when I was but a baby. I want to talk real quick about blessing and cursing because the elders blessed children's heads, but they also cursed when they were angry, and baby, they meant it. Now, growing up where I grew up, we knew, look, some of them elders, you didn't piss them off, baby, because once they put mouth on you, that's what they used to call it where I'm from. Don't let her put mouth on you. Because if she put mouth on you, baby, you're not going to be able to undo that. that was cursing. And just the same, if an elder blessed you, it was just as powerful. A mother or a father's words, y'all, a grandmother's warnings, those were not just them venting, okay? Those were conjurations, real talk. And it worked because they believed it and they backed it with lived power. They spoke shit and said it with conviction, and it came to pass because they had faith in what they were speaking, because they understood. They may not have had language for it. They may not have had a title or a label for it, but they understood. The tongue is a tool, and hoodoo is full of tools, but the tongue is one of the oldest and most accessible ones. The tongue is the free tool. And sometimes, y'all, again, believe it or not, all you need is your tongue. A lot of times people will come to me because they need work done. And I think they're expecting me to do like these big, elaborate, pretty rituals and have it all set up because that is what New Age has told us we have to do. But what you have to understand about me is it don't take all that. I don't need all of that. Do I do it sometimes? Absolutely, especially if I'm doing a community working, right? But I don't, as long as I have me, as long as I have my tongue, my mouth, my voice. Yeah. When I came to understand this, it made all the sense in the world why the enemy tried to take my voice all those years ago. When I came to understand that my voice is laced with an anointing that destroys yokes, that breaks word curses, that disarms, dismantles, and destroys. Yeah. And it's not the only way, but it's one of the ways. And so when I explained to a couple of people, like, yeah, I don't have to do that because I can literally do a cut and clear just by going in my secret place and speaking the right thing over the situation. You don't need a candle to bind what you can shut down with your voice. A lot of times we make this more complicated than what it has to be. It's as simple as using your mouth. It's as simple as speaking what you want, saying what you need, speaking life, rebuking death, blessing your children, talking to your house, the spirit of your home, that essence, calling things by name. Most of the time, it's as simple as that, y'all. Real talk. When I say that we make it complicated, we make it complicated because that is what, again, New Age has taught, that it has to be pretty and you have to have all the things. And really, all you need is you. All you need is you. I want to move on to protection because I could stay on this word conjure thing. I could talk about that for days. Okay. And we don't have days. All right. I'm already at 13 minutes, 50 seconds. So I want to move on to protection work because I feel like this is also important. I feel like some people absolutely underestimate the power of protection work. I feel like some people come onto the journey and they want to get started right away with getting a man, getting a woman, getting some money. But it's like, what about your protection? We're going to always start with protection. Okay. So I want to shift to that now because it goes hand in hand with word conjure. Okay. Our ancestors were conjuring, yes, but they were also guarding, not only spiritually, but also physically and energetically. So many people today, like I said, skip straight to the elaborate setups, the exotic herbs, the shit that's unheard of, right? But our people, our elders, when I tell y'all they kept it simple, they kept it effective, and they kept it accessible. Because it did not and it does not take all of that. Remember, hoodoo is practical, powerful, and protective. It was born in oppression. It was never just about healing, it was also about survival. Okay. And if you're trying to survive, you need to be covered. And if you're someone who thinks that you don't need to be covered, think again, beloved. In Gullah Geechee homes, protection wasn't seasonal at all. It was not seasonal. It was constant. They protected the front door, the back door, the windows, the threshold, the baby's heads, the beds, the Bibles, the back porch, the front porch, the yard, and the body. I want to talk briefly about those special baths that we used to take when I was growing up. Because back then, sitting in a tub of water with Epsom salt in it, it wasn't just about self-care. It wasn't just about relieving the muscles. That was cleansing. Rainwater, sea salt, Florida water, bluing, and prayers. All of that was about cleansing, beloved. Sometimes the bath was silent, but sometimes they prayed over the water like before we could even go into the bathroom. Real talk. They would put in what they're going to put in, bless that bath, pray over that water, speak into it. You understand? And the bath washed off everything that didn't belong. Okay? Spiritual residue, bad dreams, hexes, grief, fear, whatever was present that did not belong, our elders got that shit up off of us. They washed it off. To protect the house, we were always taught to sweep toward the door and not away from the door, because you're sweeping out and not in. They laid tricks at the threshold. Okay, that's what my people used to call it. Now, that might be something like putting some black salt in the corners of the thresholds, where they called that laying a trick. Okay, because that shit was gonna keep the wrong kind of energy out. They buried things in the corners of the yard: red pepper, nails, iron, sulfur, okay, to ward off enemies. And what my grandmother used to tell us when we were little, before we could understand shit, she used to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go put down some sulfur and some turpentine to keep the snakes away. And I ain't talking about just the snakes that slither. I'm talking about the two-legged snakes too. Okay. And they did this ritualistically. Some of them would even bury the Bible opened up to Psalm 91, or they had horseshoes nailed above the front door and used white chalk to mark an X under the welcome mat. All of these things carried meaning. Now, I want to talk about spoken word as protection, or word conjure, okay? Because again, they didn't wait for shit to go wrong, and they didn't wait until they had the right tools. They spoke protection daily. They would literally walk in the house and say things like, no harm to come near this door. The devil can't live here. Satan, you ain't welcome here. This house is covered in the blood. Every tongue rising up against us will fall. And they meant that shit. And the spirits listened. And we were good. Protection didn't come from exotic powders and shit. It literally came from what you had already: salt, vinegar, red pepper, a white cloth, a broom, your voice, and your faith. Y'all, check this out. If you don't remember anything else from this video, if you don't remember anything else that I say, I absolutely need you to remember this. You, beloved, are the altar. Your tongue is a tool, and your house is worth covering. Take that how you will. Okay, this is why alignment is so important. This is why our ancestors are so important. This is why it is so important that you get with your people before you get with a deity. Mm-hmm. Our ancestors never waited for shit to show up. They never waited for things to go wrong. They never waited for somebody to come at them. They covered things in advance. They were very proactive, okay? And when shit happened, they moved accordingly. But most importantly, they used what they had, not what they had to go out and spend money for to buy, because they didn't have money to go out and buy shit. This is our heritage. This is hoodoo. I'm going to close this out. I want to say, if this resonated with you at all, if any parts of it resonated with you at all, I want you to be sure to share it, like it, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts and how these traditions have showed up in your own family. Okay, y'all, don't forget to check the community tab for any weekly posts or the description box for information on how to book your own personal reading with me. Personal readings are open, ancestor messages are open, mini readings are open, personal work is open. All of that information can be found in the description box below. Yeah, we have about 1 to 2 more teachings to get through, and I am going to get through them this week, okay, because I want to have all of the videos posted by October 31st, okay? But until next time, y'all stay covered, stay powerful, stay blessed, and do not underestimate the power of your tongue. Ashe.